Sometimes, with something like this, you might want to go to the bathroom first. It gives you a chance to make sure nobody followed you in. It also gives you a chance to make sure nobody's in the bathroom you have to worry about. It also gives you a chance to go to the bathroom. You don't want to be uncomfortable. But I went before, and a place this small, this late, you might as well just get to work.
What's up, everybody? I'm Rick.
And I'm Anna.
And welcome to our bucket list channel, a channel in which we try to realize the goals and dreams that are on our bucket list. One of which is to watch all the Academy Award nominated movies from 1927 to 2028.
All of them.
Yes. We've been watching a lot of 1920s, 1930s movies, but now we've taken a detour to watch the nominees of this year, or actually last year, 2019. And so today that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to talk about a movie that we just saw that is nominated for Best Picture in 2020 for the 2019 year. Follow here. The Irishman. So for those of you who are not aware, the way we do this is that the first part of our discussion is going to be spoiler free for those who haven't seen the movie. And then the second part, we're going to go into more details to some of the scenes that we want to touch upon. You know, it's not a spoiler field in the meaning that we just tell you everything that happened in the movie and talk about that. We're just gonna go
into the things that really piqued our interest.
Yeah, exactly. But we won't stop ourselves from spoiling the movie and that second part. We will warn you when we get to that part, so if you don't want to get spoiled, don't worry, you can still watch the first half of that video. But before any of that, first of all, I'll get some
information about the movie.
So first of all, this is a Netflix movie.
Another one.
Yes,
nice.
Marriage Story.
We've watched another Netflix movie in this series.
Marriage Story was also a Netflix movie. So this year Netflix...
They're doing so well.
Yeah. 2 Academy Award Best Picture nominated movie for Netflix. Came out in November 2019. The title is The Irishman, but also titled on screen as I Heard You Paint Houses.
Oh,
did you notice at the beginning?
No, I didn't actually.
When the movie started, you could see the title appear, when they do that on the screen.
Yeah.
But it wasn't The Irishman, it was I Heard You Paint Houses.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because it is based on a 2004 nonfiction book, I Heard You Paint Houses.
Okay.
By Charles Brand, who is a former homicide prosecutor and investigator. The book chronicled the life of Frank Sheeran, just like the movie.
That's a real character? That's a real person?
These are real events. An alleged mafia hitman who confessed to crimes he committed working for the Buffalo crime family.
That's all real? All the names in the movie are real?
All the names are real, or mostly. I didn't check everyone, but mostly. And the events are based on this book, which itself is based on his account of the events, and those are disputed. So we'll get into that later when we speak spoilers. But in a general sense, these are all real events.
Wow, I did
on real events.
I did not know that, and I did not expect that.
Yeah?
I did not expect that this movie could be a real story.
Oh, no? Okay. The movie is known a lot, or at least part of the early buzz, apart from all the big names involved, was the use and heavy use of de-aging technology, which we've seen in movies like... what movie? Gemini Man. We just saw this with Will Smith. Yeah. So a lot of the scenes were filmed with a special rig of 3 camera to facilitate the de-aging of De Niro, Pacino, and Joe Pesci.
But I feel like it worked well. It looked good to me.
Yeah. The movie plays with age a lot. You see them as what they look like now. You see them at the age, like younger.
Yeah.
And you see them also
Also much older, yeah.
than what they look like now. So it's a bit funny. Directed by legendary director Martin Scorsese, who you would also know from being the director of A Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah.
Or The Departed, Gangs of New York.
No, I haven't seen that one.
No? Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Taxi Driver, etc. The list goes on. The movie, the three main actors, the three big name actors in the movie, Robert De Niro, who's also a producer, plays Frank Sheeran. Al Pacino plays Jimmy Hoffa. And Joe Pesci plays Russell Bufalino. Pesci actually came out of his unofficial retirement after numerous requests
for this movie
to play in the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
made the right choice. That was a good movie.
Yeah, and it paid off because, as we're going to see now that we're going to talk about the recognition that the movie has had, lots of nomination and different awards. But the one we're interested in the most here is the Academy Award, because this is what this whole series is about. The movie has 10 nominations at the Academy Award.
10 nominations.
10 nominations.
Wait, so these 10 nominations, what are they?
So that's where I'm getting now, yeah. 10 nomination, Best Picture, of course, that's why we watched it, that's why we're talking about it here. Best Director for Martin Scorsese. Best Supporting Actor for Al Pacino. Best Supporting Actor for Joe Pesci. So getting out of retirement was worth it. But I guess it's Joe Pesci, like he's great. Best Adapted Screenplay for Steven Zalini, based on the book, of course. So that's why it's adapted.
Adapted, yes.
Yeah. Best Production Design for Bob Shaw and Regina Graves. Best Cinematography, Rodrigo Prieto. Best Costume Design, Sandy Powell and Christopher Peterson. Best Film Editing, Thelma Schoonmaker. Best Visual Effect.
Oh.
So for probably
the de-aging.
Yeah. Pablo Hellman, Alejandro Estebecorena, and Stefan Gabri Nelson Sepulveda.
Okay.
So these are the 10. I've got some more facts, but these are more spoilery facts, so we're gonna get into them after we discuss the movie without spoiling it. What did you think of it?
What did I think of it? What did I think of it? I mean, obviously, with names like this, it's hard to make a bad movie. Like talking director, the actors, like... the movie was just amazing. It's long. It's so long.
This movie is 3.5 hours.
At some point, we took like a 5 minutes break. And when you put the break, and I saw that the bar was only in the middle, I was like, I thought this was nearing the end already.
No.
Like, how can we only be halfway through? We've been here forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, but it's long.
We started this movie, it was summer still. Yeah.
No, not really.
True story.
So it's long, but it's really worthwhile to watch it. I like how the story is advancing. You really, for most of the movie, I was like, wait, what's happening now? Like, where are we in the story? Because things keep moving from one thing to another as if we already knew. Like, for example, at some point there are some things going on, and one of them, I don't remember exactly which one, said, oh, there was only one guy who could do something like this. And then he starts telling the story as if we already know. And I'm like, wait, which one of them? Like, I don't get it. But then they're introducing actually a new character into the story. But like, it feels like it moves so fast. And for a movie that's that long to move this fast, and also it covers like such a long time span. Yeah. Like it happens over decades. Mm-hmm. Really, their story, the story presented in the movie, with like so much action, so many things happening. It's really a little bit chaotic, but it's in a good way. Like it keeps you entertained. It keeps you like like there on the edge, being like, oh my god, what's happening now? And like, what's happening now? And like, but you get it. Like it didn't lose me. You don't get lost in it. You still like, you get the story. It's just that like it's so fast.
I'm not sure. I agree with you on a lot of the points that you brought. I loved the movie. I really liked it. I didn't feel like it moved that fast, really. I felt like, we settled, and like with every scene, with every part of Frank's life, and then like with these characters, they do introduce characters at a fast-paced level. Like, oh, this is this guy, this is this guy, this is this guy. But these characters, they come back and they're mentioned like often enough that like you get it. Like I didn't get that feeling that I was at the edge of my seat, everything's moving. So I felt like, oh, we're settling in with these characters, and like we're just watching their story being unfolded. And a lot of time their story is like them talking, they're mafiosos or they're and like you settle into the scene.
I really feel like that.
Yeah.
I really felt like that. Yeah, I really felt like it's just like moving from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, like this, like, with new characters, because they kept introducing new characters even like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
There were still like new like people coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah. But this is a long movie, and because of that, you might maybe be more reluctant to recommend it. Would you recommend this movie?
Oh no, I would recommend it. Oh my god. Especially if you like the genre, like the mafia,
those crime
kind of like
movies.
crime type of movies. Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But even if you are not specifically into this genre, still watch it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a very, like, I really like the way that the story was told, because you get the point of view of the main character. You get like, for some parts, you get him telling the story of his life, basically.
I would say like if you like Martin Scorsese, you know what you're getting. If you've seen Goodfellas, you know what you're getting. And so like it's not a surprise to anybody, like the quality of that movie, but also what that movie is. If you don't like Martin Scorsese movie, like you're not gonna like this. But who are you? And so, yeah, go watch it. Go watch this movie. I would recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. But for us, it is now time to go maybe a bit deeper and talk spoilers. Before we get too deep into the spoiler discussion, I wanted to talk a little bit about some other facts that I've got here. So Frank Sheeran, like I said, the real person, died of cancer at the age of 83 in 2003 in a nursing home in Pennsylvania, which kind of mirrors the end of the movie. He's in that nursing home by himself on Christmas. So maybe the most interesting facts about this movie, and related to what I was saying at the beginning when you were asking me, is this a real story? It is a real story based on the confession of Frank, according to the author. You see how many steps we got to get here.
I see.
And
so he never actually confessed to the police, or
I don't have that information. Okay. I'm just saying the movie is based on that book. The book itself is based on the author's like information that he would have gotten from confessions of Frank.
Okay.
Yeah. And the movie is kind of set up that way a little bit. He's old in a nursing home, and he seems like he's telling the story to someone. The hint is that he's telling the story maybe to someone interviewing him, the author of the book, maybe. And so the biggest point of contention to the events is Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa's disappearance is a real person who really disappeared. And his disappearance is, to this day, still unresolved.
Okay.
And you would think, oh, but why? The movie tells me what happened, right?
But it's not sure.
And so, here's the information. I pulled it right out of Wikipedia. Sheeran's supposed confession to killing Jimmy Hoffa and Joe Gallo has been disputed in The Lies of the Irishman, an article. and Jimmy Hoffa and the Irishman, a true crime story by Harvard professor Jack Goldsmith. There were blood stains found in the Detroit house where Sharon claimed to have murdered Jimmy Hoffa, and in the movie you see the house.
Yes.
But the stains were determined to not match Hoffa's DNA.
Okay.
To this day, the FBI continues its attempt to connect Sharon to the murder, retesting the blood and the floorboards and like with new techniques to try to make the two stories fit. But basically, he's saying he did it. They have no evidence that he did it.
Okay. I'm really shocked actually that there was a
true story? Yeah.
Because I didn't think it is. Because the story itself is so crazy.
Yeah, let's
And
go.
that's a crazy life to have.
Let's go back to the movie. This is not a true crime
Right.
podcast. We're not here to try to figure out what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. But really though, what happened to Jimmy Hoffa? Like in the movie, how did you feel at that moment where he's put into this situation where they're telling him basically, you have to go and kill your friend?
Oh yeah, that part. Okay. My first question when I was watching it was like, is he really gonna do that? I mean, really?
When he sat in the back of the car, I thought he was going to kill the other people.
Yeah. Maybe
And then
that would have been
Save
something interesting.
save Jimmy.
Yeah. But it would have been like, because that would have been, see, that's the difference. That would have been a movie.
A Hollywood
story.
movie. Yeah. Well,
Not
this is a Hollywood
real-
movie, but
not
this is
like not-
based on a real story.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I wanted to focus on was like the emotional impact of like Frank having to be put in that situation.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Because at first, like when that part started, I thought they just wanted him out of the way so that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like afterwards, I figured like no, they want him to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, like that's a lot to ask of anyone. But I guess they're creating this character, like that was his character, right?
He's a loyal soldier. You know, they would
Yeah.
even make mention of when he was in the army during the Second War and Italy killing prisoners of war, which is a war crime, by the way. And like
Yeah.
he just listens and he does what he's told, you know.
Right.
This to me was like the linchpin of the whole movie, because you don't realize at the beginning when he says, "Oh, everything was about the wedding." That's how the movie starts, you know. And then they're going to this wedding,
Right. Yeah.
and then he tells the story. But everything is just a prelude to this one event. You know, the movie might as well have been like,
Just that.
"Who Killed Jimmy Hoffa?" You know,
Right.
the title. You know, because everything is a prelude to this one event where like they're telling him, "You have to do this, otherwise you're in trouble." And the only reason you're not in trouble right now, actually, is because you're a friend with me. Russell says that. Joe
says
Pesci.
that, yeah.
Yeah. The other hard part is the end, which I think is very interesting with this movie, is that usually, mafia movies, they end at like maybe 30 to 40 minutes before that movie actually ended, when they go to jail.
Right.
That's usually when it stops, when the movie stops.
Yeah,
and then
like,
they tell
it's
you,
done.
like he tells you whatever happens to everyone. Like,
Right,
this guy went to jail for this guy went to jail for this. Like, in the end, everybody goes to jail or gets killed. And this is something they do throughout the movie whenever they introduce a character.
Yeah,
And
they
like,
tell you like when he's gonna die.
yeah, got shot
Like-
in 1990.
Yeah.
And these are real fact. Like, these are people who...
Yeah, that like I actually thought they just made those up for the movie, like
No.
to make it seem interesting. I didn't think that it's actually real people who actually died
Yeah,
in those circumstances.
yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, usually that's when the movie ends. But here the movie keeps going.
Right.
And then you see them getting old in jail.
And then
and
they
then-
get out of jail.
No, they don't get out of jail. Everybody
yeah.
dies except him. He gets out of jail.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like he even says, like Russell says bye to him at some point. He says, "Oh, where are you going?" "I'm going to church." And says Russell went to church. Then he went to the hospital, and then he never went to the morgue and never came back. You know? And he's the only one who gets out of jail. And then he sees that he's at the end of his life. Try to reconnect with his daughter. She doesn't want anything to do with him. tried to say sorry to the other daughter who's actually accepted talks to him, but she's like, sorry for what? You're not even willing to say exactly what you're sorry for. You don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that to the end of it, I feel like he didn't understand.
Yeah. When asked to repent to the priest, because he turns to religion in his old age, when asked to repent to the priest, and he says, I don't really regret anything, it's water under the bridge, it's past, except that phone call.
Right.
And so you see, again, this whole movie is about Jimmy Hoffa's murder, because that's the one, he doesn't regret the murder itself. It's the phone call when he called his wife.
Right.
It says, who makes a phone call like that?
Right. Yeah, I feel like that was... Because that's what I was saying, There's a character that they're building up. That's the character that's presented to us. It's someone who really doesn't have that kind of remorse or that kind of... questioning what he's doing, right? Like you said, he's a soldier respecting orders. He's not wondering whether or not those orders should be followed.
Yeah. Though he did try everything he could to
help his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the order was given, he did it.
Yeah.
The order to kill his friend was given.
And the most the closest we've seen him to a remorse was that when he
made the call.
Made the phone call.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was hard. But even before that, there was another thing that I wanted to talk about, which was the ring. The ring that Russell gives him.
Yeah. Only 3 people have a ring like that,
right.
And only one of them is Irish.
I have no idea how powerful that just made you. I felt like that was setting up for something greater that was going to happen, but nothing great happened. He did the job and then they ended up in jail.
I think it was more... Russell knew where this was going, and Russell wanted him on his side. Russell liked Frank.
Yeah.
And he would have been sorry to have Frank killed also. So it's remember who brought you here. He says that to Frank,
right.
Remember who you're with really. I'm your friend, not Jimmy,
Yeah.
If you have to choose,
pick me.
Yeah.
pick me.
But yeah, going back to the end, this is just sad, seeing him old by himself. His kids don't talk to him. He has to buy his own coffin.
Oh my god, that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that scene?
And then he's alone.
He picks his own crypt.
Yeah.
It's oh my god, no. That's imagine that guy at the coffin store. What's it called? The coffin, the place that sells coffins. Where he's so who is this for? A man, a woman? It's for me.
For me, yeah.
It's
yeah.
How often do you get that? So, oh my god, no. That's terrible.
Yeah, and then he's alone in the nursing home for the rest of the movie, just with the priest. And then when the priest leaves, say, I won't be back for a while because this is the holidays. It's almost Christmas, and he's just there by himself.
Yeah, and then he even asks, oh, I didn't notice it was Christmas.
Yeah. That's hard. And that's maybe part of the... in those mafioso movie, the part they never show you.
Yeah.
The sad part, you know.
The end of it. What happens to them when they're alone with their ghosts.
He doesn't have any of the money, you know. He had to bargain for his coffin. He doesn't have any of the friends. They're all dead or in jail.
Right.
Well, they're all dead at that point.
They're all dead, yeah.
And the family doesn't talk to him because of all the crimes he's committed. The last thing that happens in the movie, he tells the priest, could you leave the door a little bit open? I like it like that, you know.
Yeah.
And then he just looks through the small opening of the door. I wonder, so one or two things. Probably this is something they do, you know, as they live in this life where you have to sleep with one eye open, so you better keep your door open, you never know. But also, they make a slight emphasis of the door being slightly open the first time he sleeps in Jimmy Hoffa's hotel room. The first time they meet, you know, and then they sleep in the same room because he says he didn't want any proof that I was here.
Yeah.
So he had me sleep in his hotel room. And it's two separate rooms. Hoffa goes to sleep, close the door, but just leaves a slight opening. And I wonder if that's where he picked it up. And I wonder if at the end when he asks that and looks at it, he's not thinking of his old friend.
Yeah. I hadn't noticed that That's interesting, but yeah, it would make sense. It's like a mirror, like to mirror that scene.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this discussion is getting as long as the movie.
No, but like we have to mention, we only touch on like 3 subjects that happen in this movie. There's so much. Like I wouldn't even dare to start talking about everything. Like there are so many. The relationship with the daughter that like you see it from the time she's a kid to like, you know, the end of it. Oh, that would be like a whole discussion only about that.
On itself, yeah.
Right.
No.
No, it's too much. That's too much.
We could have talked about how great the performances were.
Yeah. I mean, you know, with names like that.
Yeah. No.
It's not even, you know, needed to mention.
But yeah, no. This was a great movie. If we keep going, we'll hit the 3-hour mark too. So we should stop this here. We recommend this movie in case you didn't notice. We loved it.
Definitely we do recommend this movie. Take 3.5 hours of your life to watch this. Is amazing.
If you guys like this movie too, or if you have any comments or want to keep the conversation going, because this conversation could keep going, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like this video, like by hitting the like button. Yeah.
It's the one that looks like this.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Oh yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah. If you're not subscribed to this channel already, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified whenever our next video drop in. Have a nice day.